Ladies and speedrunners, Andy here, the Inner Winner Show. Let's fucking go. So, new intro. I'm no longer going to say the episode number in the intros of these. I've been running into some issues where if I want to because I pre-record a bunch of episodes ahead of time, and if I want to sort of mix and match and move them around and release an earlier episode later or something, like it's just such a hassle if I've baked in the episode number. So I'm going to stop doing that. I'm also going to make these episodes a lot shorter and sharper. I think I've been kind of taking the piss a little bit with some of the episodes lately. I've been letting them go on for way too long, like over an hour. I know some of you guys like those longer episodes, like the 2-hour podcast and stuff like that. But if I'm doing something every day, a bunch of you just aren't watching the long ones, and fair enough. Like it's a huge time investment. So I'm going to stick to like 15 minutes. What I'm going to do is each podcast is going to be like an idea, like a little snippet, something to improve your life going forward. So it'll be a very similar format to before, just a lot less rambling, a lot more on point. I write notes now beforehand, make sure these are a little more on point. So let's fucking go. This one is about a little technique that I like to use and that I give to my coaching clients when you're really nervous. So when you're trying to talk to girls, you want to walk up to a cutie pie and say like, hey, I want to stick my thing in your thing. Use this technique if you feel nervous. So if you don't feel like you're someone that can have like a big long conversation because you kind of mix your words up, you're like, oh my God, I'm too nervous. I can't do this. I'm too intimidated. I haven't hit on enough girls and I don't know what I'm doing yet. I don't feel smooth. Use this cheat. This is what I used to use, and I literally used it because I was too much of a pussy to have like a long conversation. This was my way of cheating and pussying out. What you do is you walk up, you say like, hey, you're cute. I'm Andy. Shake her hand. And then at that point, instead of having a conversation and saying like, what are you up to, blah, 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 you just throw out, yo, I'm in a rush, but let me get your number. You seem cool. And let's go grab a drink. So I'm in a rush. Let me grab your number. We'll go grab a drink. That's all you have to say. Literally walk up. Hey, you're cute. I'm Andy. Yo, I'm in a rush. Let me get your number and we'll grab a drink. That's it. And this takes so much of the pressure off because now you don't have to think like, oh, what do I say? How do I come up with a conversation? Like, how do I ask about, what she's up to? How do I do small talk? All of that stuff. This is like the pussy way of doing it. And I say pussy, but because that's why I was doing it. No judgment if you do this. This shit will work. Yes, you will get less numbers and less lays than if you have a long conversation. Obviously, I think that goes without saying. You don't have to have a massive conversation with girls, but talking for 5 minutes or 3 minutes or even 2 minutes, you're obviously going to have more success than if you just use this technique. But the reason that I say to use this technique is this is your stepping stone to get to the point where you're comfortable having a little bit of a longer conversation. Again, you don't have to have a massive conversation. We're only talking like a minute or 2 or 3 here. But if you can't do that, use this. This is a good crutch to get you there. And I talk all the time about crutches are a good thing. Like cheats are a good thing. I use a million cheats. I've used a million cheats to get to where I am right now. And if you have to use this in order to get to a point where you are actually comfortable talking to women that you hit on, then fucking use this. This is also brilliant when you feel like you don't have enough time. One excuse that a bunch of guys use is, I don't have enough time to talk to girls. I'm busy. I got work. I got university, whatever the hell I'm doing. Use this. You can literally do this when you're on, like you've got a 5-minute lunch break or something. You can go outside, walk up to the first girl, say, yo, hey, I know this is random, but you're cute. I'm Andy. I'm in a rush. Let me grab your number. We'll grab a drink sometime. Easy. Done. This whole thing takes you literally 20 seconds from when you stop her to when, she's going, yeah, sure, I'll give you my number. And you can absolutely have sex doing this. Like, absolutely. This works. I've done this a bunch of times. There was a long period of time. I think like the first, maybe like 50 girls that I talked to, let's say 95% of them, I just did this because I was too scared to have a long conversation. I was too nervous. I forgot my name. I was like stuttering. I'd forget what I was going to say. My mind would just be a complete blank. And so I just used this as a cheat, and this fucking works. I have other clients who've done this. One of my coaching clients, a guy I did a podcast with a couple of days ago, Ed, he used this for the first girl that he had sex with from, day game cold approach. He literally just walked up and did this. Like, yo, hey, I don't have much time to talk, or I'm in a rush or whatever. Let me get your number. So this shit absolutely works. It's a good crutch to get you through that initial period where you think, because it can be very intimidating. Like at the start, you think, how am I supposed to talk to a girl? How am I supposed to carry a conversation on? How am I supposed to be interesting? I'm nervous. I've never done this before. Use this. This is a great technique to get you through that initial period until you work up a little more confidence. You become a little more calm. You're less anxious. You're less scared, and you can talk to them properly. So I'll leave it there. Again, like I said, I want to keep these podcasts pretty short going forwards and just give you the information in a nice little snippet, easily digestible, rather than rambling and ranting. I'll still do some of them, so don't stress, but I'm going to keep maybe 75 to 80% of the podcast nice and short like this. So if you got something out of this podcast, come support me on my Patreon. It's only $5 a month. You get early access to this, or all these episodes, I should say, before anyone else, as well as a bunch of bonus content. I'll leave a link in the description below. Adios, amigos.